It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And we've got the Vikings leader at quarterback. He had the green light to sling it last week, over 450 yards passing. It's the Vikings and the Commanders, and it's all up next.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Today, after a topsy-turvy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Washington Commanders. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about this Commanders team coming into play here today. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And this is taken in at the 5. A huge play there right off the bat. 62 yards.
I've heard of quick strike offenses, but this is taking that to the extreme. I mean, the very first snap of the ball game, normally you're thinking, let's get our quarterback comfortable and get him into the flow of the game, but not here. They come out attacking from the outset, and it pays off in a big way.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Now they'll send a tight end in motion left. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. They'll try again. And they will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. His first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. Point after here coming up. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So out comes the Washington offense as they get their first shot. And a glance at the man under center at 6'5". He always demands attention.
And he comes off a tough opening matchup. Threw way too many interceptions in that game. Definitely not the way you want to kick off a new season. So he said to himself, I've got to throw that game out. I'm going to get a fresh start right here in week 2.
Throwing to start the drive. Forbes. Well, we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Now a 2nd and 10. throws it. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
That is caught. He's across midfield, and he'll take this down to the 40-yard line. That's a first down and then some, a 32-yard pickup.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a third down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
Shreds him with a stiff arm. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, sometimes a thing of beauty.
2nd and 10. Off play action. Forbes. Looking for Dodson. He's got him. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. So certainly a defensive mistake here in the first quarter, getting hit with a roughing the passer call.
And that hurts not just because of the yardage you gave up and give them a fresh set of downs, but that brought the home crowd into this one. And when you go on the road, your job is to silence the crowd, not energize them.
Looking to throw. Forbes. Touchdown, Washington. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Commanders respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. There you go, Charles. His first touchdown pass of the new season.
And he had a strong rookie year. So much more expected of him this one, as you might imagine. He threw that one with confidence and assuredness.
And I noticed that the celebration a little bit more subdued than his first touchdown pass last year as a rookie.
Yeah, he certainly is acting like he's done it before.
Take it at about the 1. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game planned for this drive, and they both have...
And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there for Minnesota. 51 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play. That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They give it off here to the tight end. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing. And as a player, that means an awful lot.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. He'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Their commander's going to retake the field for drive number 2. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You look at this defense for the Vikings. This crew against the pass, it's been a real struggle. 2nd from the bottom in the NFL, number 31.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Warner, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. This defense for the Vikings, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Smith catches left side, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Now that's a good bounce back after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive. Just 1 first down permitted and then out. Obviously no loss of confidence with that defense, and now they get to turn it back to their offense.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Now right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown. And the offense had really not been able to mount anything yet on that drive, and the defense made sure they couldn't mount anything. The interception and the return adding 6 to the scoreboard.
And that's no small return for a linebacker, partner. He took matters into his own hands and his legs on that pick. And once he had it, I don't think anyone on the field could have stopped him.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. But you look at this defense. This unit, third best in the NFL in stopping the run.
We know it's only week one, but the results look pretty good so far. The key is, can they do it week in and week out? Because right now, they're not awarding any championships or trophies after 1 week of performance. Got some nice young faces playing for them. Let's see if they can get this going.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, you're crediting your defense.
Gotta credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I've got a good friend in football who always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
Now Brown. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. So out comes Washington's offense to take over. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a 1st down Washington on a pickup of 18. These 2 teams all tied after 1. Second quarter down from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Warner. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
On 2nd down now, it's Warner, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commander's 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 23 yards on the play. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
Terry McLaurin, his 1st touchdown of the new season. And the Commanders have taken the lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead is now 21-14. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. They'll start with the option, and he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. And that's on the guard, Wyatt Teller.
Still first down. Let's go. It's showtime, baby. This is your game, baby.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
And we'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. With it is Brown. It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Out is their quarterback with this offense to take over once more. He had the touchdown pass on the last drive, his 2nd of this first half, as he'll try again on 1st down here. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find the hole.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Operating from the gun. Forbes, middle of the field, he's got McLaurin. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
At the 22-yard line.
Off the play fake. Forbes. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sack back at the 29. Daniil Hunter coming in for that outside linebacker spot, and he buries him for a loss of 7.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
Got to give their offensive coordinator credit there. He got right into the head of the defensive coordinator because right on the heels of the sack on 2nd down, he figured they were going to come at him hard again. And so he went ahead and hit a brilliant call. Screen pass works well enough. They're able to pick up a 1st down. That's one way to keep that defense at bay.
Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. come back and get them the next time.
And he fends him off. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Back to throw. Forbes. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Vikings head out to take over once again. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They'll go with a keeper, and he will have the Vikings first down, maybe by about a yard as they find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. Now this time he'll look to throw. His throw incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And a throw right sideline is complete. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson. As the first half is winding down, and the Vikings have a chance to tie the game here in the final seconds of the half. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Extra point right down the middle, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Forbes. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
He was covered by Christian Fulton.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. A final shot before break. Forbes slings this deep from McLaurin. And incomplete on the deep ball. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a tie ball game here heading to break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We begin with the Battle of the Great Lakes, Chicago on the shores of Lake Michigan, heading to the shores of Lake Erie to take on Cleveland. And as they approach halftime, it's the Bears who are out in front. Justin Fields has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, we head down south to Tampa to check on the Bucs at home at Raymond James Stadium. And at halftime, they trail the visiting Seahawks in that ball game. Kenneth Walker, a touchdown run in that first half. Lastly, let's head to Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati to see what's happening with the Bengals. As you can see the score there in the second quarter. The Bengals were losers a week ago, so they are desperately trying to avoid dropping 2 straight to start the year. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference. With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. Here come the Commanders for the first possession of the third quarter. This offense ready for the first drive of the third quarter. Well, quarters number 1 and 2 entertaining. We saw some good offense points put up, Charles, and all tied on the scoreboard.
And it sets us up for what could be a really fun second half because we've seen both sides score almost at will here in the first half. And now, here in the second half, getting the ball first, you've got to think, hey, we can go out and really run our offense the way we did in the first half. But if I'm a defensive player, all I'm thinking is, can I make a play to really help out my team and break this streak of offense?
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Looking to throw. Forbes. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it, and that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. This is taken at the 23. Oh, a heck of a move. Man. A nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Justin Jefferson and the rest of this offense, they've got their helmets back on, and they're ready for this next series.
Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on him, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
Jamin Davis there to bring him down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver, that makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now an option play on second down. Nifty move. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 14 yards that time and a first down on the keeper. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Commanders 10-yard line.
Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10. He'll drop to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively. That brings up 3rd. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football. Incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. They didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. Didn't quite get the touchdown, but now they're really knocking on the door.
And if you're the play caller, now you're thinking to yourself, what is your sequence? Because you're not just thinking one play here just in case. You're looking ahead as well. I wonder if he's just thinking,
over the middle, and there's a diving catch. There's Addison. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. Laying himself out in the end zone. And the Vikings are going to take the lead. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Washington offense heading out. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the foot. Shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down.
32-yard line.
Operating from the gun. Forbes. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. To throw on 3rd down. Forbes. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
This is brought in at the 21. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Vikings now heading onto the field. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. The broken tackle couldn't create a ton of space. He'll be taken down just beyond the 35-yard line.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
On 2nd down, here's the option.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a 1st down with some nice running.
He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the 1st level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Just a gain of a couple there. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
From the gun on 3rd down. Forbes work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have a Commander's 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Throwing on 1st down. Forbes. Over the middle, complete. That's Warner. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 15 yards there for number 15.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
This offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. They trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here.
A give up the middle to Singletary. And good space to operate there as he takes his step inside the 35-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st.
Washington, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Now a handoff up the middle. It's Warner. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
Here's 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 34-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. Warner. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Off play action. Forbes. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Daniil Hunter picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. A bit of extra pressure now for this one on Joey Sly. This from 54 yards away. He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and this will stay at a 7-point game.
It looked good when it left his foot, but he kind of sliced it a little bit, and he winds up missing it wide right.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Their defense was able to hold serve, albeit with a little help from that missed field goal as they settle in now 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to try and go deep again. Oh, and that is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Fix the eagle! Fix the eagle!
He'll look to throw. And he comes back with one complete. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he will have the Vikings first down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
As many games as the two of us do, I would hope that one day we'll be able to solve this riddle. Why is it on a hot day that one team has more trouble with the heat than another, and especially when you can't stop a guy running the ball?
You know it's September in the booth, though, when you and I have both removed our coats, and those were gone in the first quarter.
They were gone in the first quarter, and what we're watching now is a defense mentally giving in and sagging a little bit because they haven't been able to stop him.
That escapes the sack, and he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 5 out of the scramble in 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
A throw over the middle taken in, and he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. He'll take a shot for the end zone. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Vikings are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now up to 14.
35. Commanders 21.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send down the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Back to throw. Forbes.
And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI.
Defense.
Well, CD, that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit. Give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with what they've seen so far, have they? They're certainly hoping that that call now might get the fans back into this one.
And yet again, it's McLaurin. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it's second down. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And that is incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on fourth down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with a football.
The Commanders went for it, but they cannot pick up the first.
And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that when that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for second down.
Well, he's had success running the football in this one. Yeah, that's undeniable, but that time the defense was on to it.
And partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formation.
And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the fourth.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no, but the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
A pass there over the middle to start things out. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Now he dumps this off over the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. On 1st and 10. Forbes. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off by Byron Murphy. And the Vikings are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
But with the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
Ready?
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining.
This offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. He's going to use his legs here.
The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Looking at it from the defense's perspective, they could have really used the football to try to start eating into this deficit.
Yeah, because now possession's so crucial at this stage of the game. And when you've got an opportunity to hop on a turnover and you don't get it, you can feel the frustration all the way up here.
And the offense, they're living right now. Another bounce and break that goes their way. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. That one looks like he'll throw here.
Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They'll try and run some clock here as they... And a loose football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, that's one of those mistakes. That's a fumble that when they get to the sidelines, I know you're mad, Coach, but look, we've still got this locked down. But that's not necessarily true, is it?
You know, their hopes are slim, but you just hate to give them any hope. You could have sealed it right there.
Yeah, could have finished them off and taken away all hope, as we like to say. And now defensively in the 2-minute drill, the big key to me, make sure you understand your assignments, and anytime you get a chance to tackle someone in bounds, get them on the ground.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the first down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
And he can't escape, and down he goes. Got to avoid the flags defensively. Here's 4th and long. Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
The tackle made back at his 48-yard line.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did. You're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Minnesota, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaunt alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
Right there, passing by, see what's inside of me. Right there, step inside, see what's inside of me. Right there, passing by, see what's inside of me. Right there, step inside.